Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. A little while ago, Julie and I made an absinthe flavored ice cream and it was really good. And it got us thinking in the tasting, why not do other adult cocktail flavored ice creams? So that's what we're gonna do. Today we're gonna do one called the Bee's Knees. And the Bee's Knees cocktail is something that I really enjoyed in our Cocktails After Dark series, and I'll link to that below. And the cocktail itself is just gin, lemon, and honey. It's a very simple cocktail, very flavorful cocktail, and I thought it's going to work really well as an ice cream. So in this pot, I have put cream, and that's 35% whipping cream. This is 3.25% milk. To that, I'm going to add dry milk powder, and this is skim milk powder, so it is just milk protein. And that protein gives a much smoother ice cream when you make it at home, because your ice cream freezer at home doesn't freeze cold enough or fast enough. And I know that if you've been watching this series all the way through, you're tired of hearing me say that, but there might be new people. Next in is honey as part of the Bee's Knees flavor. I'm not going to use any other sugar. I'm going to use about a quarter cup, and I've heated this up so that it's easier to deal with. And I'm just going to pour that in. I'm going to say that's a quarter cup. And I'm almost out. Jill, who is my cousin who keeps these bees, I'm almost out. I could use some more honey. And then the final thing to go into this pot is the zest of 1 lemon. So I've got this pot over a fairly gentle heat. We just want to bring it up to maybe 150, 160 degrees Fahrenheit, just to kind of dissolve everything, mix it together, and steep some of the flavor out of that lemon zest. And while that's coming up to temperature, we'll just give these egg yolks a whisk. Okay, I think the temperature is good, so it's time to temper our egg yolks. And the idea is that you just take the hot milk, you pour it into the egg yolks really slowly, you whisk furiously, and you bring the eggs up to temperature without scrambling or cooking them. It's not that hard. Don't let anyone tell you that it's hard. Look, it's done. Okay, the pot goes back on the heat, and the eggs go back into the pot. Now, we cook this until it reaches 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, 170 degrees Fahrenheit is the point where your eggs are pasteurized, cooked essentially, and the point where we've crossed over into custard territory, which is what we want. We've reached that point now. You've got a decision to make at this point. Are you going to strain out the pieces of lemon zest, or are you going to leave them in? I used a microplane. I'm going to leave them in. I often leave them in because I don't mind the texture. I kind of actually like the texture. If you don't like the texture of lemon zest, you would strain it out at this point. So into the container, and I'm going to let this cool down probably 25-30 degrees before I add in the gin. Okay, I think we've cooled down enough. You're not waiting for it to get cool or even room temperature. You just don't want it to be 170 degrees Fahrenheit when you add the gin in, because you don't want to drive off some of the volatile compounds, the flavors that you're trying to get into the ice cream. So choose your gin wisely. Of course, use a gin that you like. I'm using this one. It's Dillon's, made by a distillery close to us here. And it starts out with a base spirit that is rye. So it has a very interesting sort of spicy note. I'm going to put 3 tablespoons. I think somewhere between 2, 3, 4, depending on how much you like the gin. Yeah, so anywhere between 2 and 4 would work really well. So I'm going to put a lid on this, stick it in the fridge, let it chill overnight, and we'll put it in the ice cream freezer tomorrow. Okay, once the ice cream maker is chilled down, we're going to add our chilled ice cream batter to it. And just give the batter a stir before you pour it into the machine, just to make sure there's not many clumps. You're not going to be fully clump free. Put the lid on, press go. And when the machine has worked its magic, we transfer the ice cream to a pre-chilled glass bowl. And once I've got this transferred over, I'll stick it in the freezer for a couple of hours before we come back and do a tasting.
Hello,
Jules.
Glen.
So, cocktail-themed ice cream.
Hi, friends. Ice cream.
This one is based on the bee's knees cocktail.
Ooh.
So,
I'm guessing some honey.
honey, lemon, gin. First go. So I don't know if I added enough or if I added too much. It might blow your head off, or it might be.
Well, I like that you chilled the bowl ahead of time. But
It's hot.
It's
hot
so
here,
hot,
Jane.
but it is cold. That bowl is cold. Mm.
It's also really steamy in here because this is Montreal smoked meat that's in its final stage. Yeah, there's no blueprint for making something like this, so I was flying blind.
That was pleasant. That has that lovely, refreshing, lemony flavor.
Yeah.
The gin doesn't show up till late
Yep.
as a flavor, so it's
But the honey and the lemon is very refreshing, isn't it? It's not overly sweet either, which is nice because sometimes ice cream can be cloyingly sweet. The burnt marshmallow ice cream, over the top sweet,
but absolutely fabulous.
absolutely fabulous. And this is a little bit different, a little bit more refreshing.
It's great. I'm in. Drink flavored ice cream.
Yeah.
Where's that in the supermarket aisle?
So the bee's knees is the bee's
Bee's
knees.
knees.
Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.